give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome, episode 2 of Fuel for My Fire podcast in association with the Bristol Metal Quarter.
Woo!
Woo! Episode 2. We're getting places.
We are, look at us.
Currently in the Gryphon, myself, Matteo and Danny. Gryphon is the best bar in Bristol. I've said it every episode. I'll say it every episode.
Yes. We've got a trampoline up here this time, though.
Oh yeah, I didn't spot that actually. Why do we have a trampoline?
I don't know. Well, there's a trampoline in the gig room. It'd be interesting to find out whether that's for a band. If that's for a band, I definitely want to see that band.
I want to see a really small, short singer just bouncing.
Yeah.
Like a Danny Filth bounce. You know, just
yeah.
He needs a bit of help.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, in the Gryphon, as I said, it's the best bar. Everything here is fantastic. We've got the metal ale side of stuff. Proper ales on tap. We have, obviously, it's the metal pub in Bristol, which is why we're here. Thanks to John for allowing this to happen.
Well, let's start with, how are you, Tom?
I'm good.
How are you, mate? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. It's hot as fuck.
Oh yeah, I had a very sweaty gooch coming in earlier.
Oh, tell me about it.
It was
I'm literally, just sweating through a headband at the moment.
Headbands take sweat though, that's the point.
No, that's the point, but my one has generally gotten to the point that it's soggy. For the listeners at home, because we're upstairs in the Gryphon, obviously the venue's upstairs in a small room, and it's all soundproofed. So all the windows are blacked out, everything's got massive soundproofing on it.
I was going to say there's windows.
It is hot in here, and the issue is obviously because we're recording audio, we can't have the fans on. But yeah, no, it's all good. I'm doing well. I'm glad to hear you're doing well.
What has been on your playlist this last 2 weeks? What's been?
It's been a lot of classic. I mean, at the tattoo studio, there's been a lot of kind of classic kind of rock and classic indie and classic pop going on. It's been
Do
a
you
lot
let
of
the clients pick music, or is it just whatever you feel like?
Sometimes we let the clients pick music, but a lot of the times it's pretty much us, the artist, kind of putting stuff on. Reality is, as much as it's nice sometimes to let the clients pick music, we're the ones that need to concentrate.
That's fair, yeah.
It's probably better that we're listening to stuff.
You don't want rage and death metal as you're trying to do a very straight line.
No, that's great. You know, those blast beats keep me focused. So.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's always a mixed bag in tattoo studios because obviously a lot of the time, if you work in a tattoo studio, obviously every artist has got their own specific kind of music that they like. So you know, some of us in there would be quite happy to listen to blast beats and grindcore, and some of us don't really want that at all.
Are you the type of tattooist that talks to your client, or do you prefer to wear headphones on?
Mate, I could talk the hind legs off a donkey.
Why you're doing the podcast against right?
Exactly. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing the podcast. No, yeah, I have to be careful. There's actually times that I'm a kind of artist who has to stop talking to clients at some point, especially if I'm doing bigger work, like on day sessions, because otherwise I'll just shoot the breeze. To be fair, I have trained myself very hard over like 8 to 9 years to be able to talk a lot and tattoo at the same time, because it's very important.
It's quite an art.
Yeah, it can be. And then sometimes I just have to go, look, I'm really sorry, I know we're having a great chat, but we need to stop talking because I need to actually get this finished. So, yeah, always good. What about you?
Yeah, I've had probably more the classic stuff on as well, actually. I was redoing my garden fencing, which was painful. Nice. One of my friends was helping me, and we just put the speaker on. And it started with about 10 hours of Deftones, which I was fine with. It was a good shout.
Hey, look, all the TikTok girls fucking love them.
I mean, they're doing their own festival. I'd like to go.
Wait, what? Oh, that's news. I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is the 5th year of it, I think.
Really?
A kind of local-based festival.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
They're obviously going to headline it, because,
Yeah.
same Slipknot with Knotfest and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think it's...
And that creepy one that the fucking Gerard Leto does, that's definitely not like a sex cult.
What one is that?
You know, what's his band called? 30 Seconds to Mars.
Was ever a fan?
Yeah, no, me neither, but you know that they've got their own festival. Well, it's like his festival now. So literally, he dresses up like Jesus, and there's lots of women in white robes. I'm not joking. You can look it up on Google. I've got to be honest, Gerard Leto's one of my people that is on I've heavily betted on getting how can I put this nicely? Getting a Project U-Treed getting draked, getting getting found out to be a nonce. I'm putting it nicely.
Think it's going to happen?
He's on 100%. I personally on that.
Where do you think he's going to slip up? Like what's?
But that festival where all these little young girls in white robes are all worshipping him like Jesus. Definitely
that might
a bad
do it.
sign. It's definitely a bad sign.
In 20 years' time, we're going to be watching documentary about it. Going, we should have seen this coming.
That'll be on Netflix, mate. You know, surviving Gerard Leto is on Netflix. That'll be there. Yeah.
As an actor, I think he's actually pretty good, but I'm not a fan of the band.
He's good in some things, you know. He's good in some things. I mean, he's just His
Joker was pretty good.
It was alright. My favourite one, if you want to watch a really, really funny one, there was a film that came out a couple of years ago called House of Gucci or whatever. It's about the story of the Gucci family. And it's got the guy from Star Wars and Lady Gaga in it. They're actually pretty good, and their Italian accents are kind of alright.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. He shows up as like the older brother in like this kind of paunchy fat outfit with his balding hair. And I'm not joking. He shows up and literally goes, "It's me, like that." And I honestly, this accent is so bad and so great. You don't understand how it's gotten past the filming, how it's gotten past the director, how it's gotten past the producers, how anyone stood there in the same room with him and gone, "This is brilliant. We definitely need it." It's called something like House of Gucci or something. Just watch it for Gerard Leto's, literally comical Italian accent.
You're part Italian?
I'm half Italian, yeah. Parlo, sì. Gerard Leto non parla italiano molto bene, diciamo così.
I'm assuming that you said that he
doesn't talk Italian very well.
Terrible.
Yeah. It was very funny. Are you enjoying this? So what are we drinking? It's like a Belgian.
Today we are drinking, I forgot what name it is, but it's again part of the podcast that we're doing. We're going to be sampling the local beer. So the Gryphon has a local dedicated tap to Everton, Bristol and related area. This one is a Belgian IPA. It is 5.2%, I want to say. Yeah. £5.30 a pint, which is pretty decent.
That's solid.
It's a Belgian IPA.
In this economy.
I mean, yeah. It's not the strongest Belgian you ever have. There is the typical taste of a Belgian beer in it, where you've got the kind of the yeast in the background.
Can I be honest? When we first got given a sample of this a little bit ago, I tried it. I was honestly like, I'm really not sure about this. It's actually grown on me.
Really?
It's actually grown on me. I'm actually quite enjoying this now. Yeah.
Are you getting the subtle hops and?
I've got to be just for the listeners at home. Apparently, we're supposed to actually be good at like doing this stuff with a beer. I'm really bad at it.
But the thing is, we like drinking it, and I
do like drinking it. It tastes nice,
and it's a bit of a fun journey. So, like, we're just your casual drinkers, really. We'll tell you if a beer is really terrible.
Yeah.
This isn't terrible. It's not my style of beer.
John's pretty good for not having like terrible beer on. He's had a few in the past where he's really like swung heavily at the fences, because John does a lot of like guest.
John's the landlord of the Gryphon, by the way.
The landlord of the Gryphon, the owner of where we are. He has like a lot of guest ales on, doesn't he? He has a rolling thing of like different guest ales on the taps, and like there's been a couple of times that he's pitched some pretty left field stuff out there, and it's been a bit over the 13 years I've drunk here. It's been a little bit like, all right, mate.
But you'll never have it again, which is another nice part of the Gryphon.
Yeah. That's true.
Again, this is the third episode where I forgot to ask John what number he's on.
What number he's on?
So
beer. Yeah. Oh yeah, because he sticks them all to the. So if you come in the Gryphon, one of the first things you'll notice is on the ceiling, from the ceiling to of the door all the way to the bar and above the bar, is just beer tap clips, because he stuck them all to the ceiling.
And over the actual bar there is the number, because
is it?
Yeah.
Has he got that? I didn't know that.
It's on the bar side, the staff side.
Okay.
So the last time, going back a few months, it was over 3,500.
Of course, yeah. I mean, he's been doing it for so long at this point.
Which is both fantastic and terrible, because if you come across a really good beer that you really like, you won't get it in here again.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the fact that he every tap is always different.
Yeah, it is good. Like, especially so. I mean, and he's been in camera for what? How many years now has he been in camera? Like a decade. I want to say he's been in camera for at least a decade. Cameron's a good beer guy, by the way, for all the non-ale drinking kids at home going, what the fuck are they talking about?
And I believe they actually come in and actually review the bars and the lines and everything else. And
for those of you listening, it's hilarious. What happens is you're in here, right? Knock Loose is playing at like full volume. There's a bunch of us reprobates getting hammered at the bar, and then what suddenly happened is there'll be like a really busy night. There's all metalheads and all that everywhere, punks and that, and then suddenly all these like just really old guys will just like wander in, looking like they're completely out of place, and all of them pull out their camera cards, and all of them will sit there at a table like drinking halves of all this different beer whilst Cannibal Corpse plays at like full volume.
And they couldn't be any more out of place.
Couldn't be any more out of place. It's so funny because they're just like, that's what I love about the old alehead guys. They're so committed to getting good real ale, and John's become such a well-known, and the Gryphon's become such a well-known.
And it's in a book, and if you're into your ales, you'll read the book.
You've got to go to the Gryphon. Doesn't matter if they're playing basement torture killings. Like, you need to go and try the beer.
I would love to talk to some of these people sitting there and
I know, right? Yeah.
Just kind of,
yeah.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? Next time we should try. They're probably just like, for fuck's sake. Like,
I'm here for the beer. Go away. Leave me alone.
Please, yeah, leave us alone. We're all literally wearing like maroon button-ups and fucking, just like, Yeah, it's good though. It's nice beer. I'm enjoying it. It's grown on me.
It's not the strongest Belgian you'll ever have. It does have the Belgian yeast taste.
I'll be honest though. Yeah, that's the funny thing. That's the bit that's grown on me. I think is actually that taste grown on me. The other thing is, I'll be honest. On a day like today, gang, it's so fucking hot. I don't want to be drinking anything too strong because I might just fall asleep if I have 2 pints of anything that's too strong.
I mean, 5.2. It's a weak Belgian, but it's still more fiery than normal ales, I would say.
Yeah, it's good.
Good. And if you're not into that, there's 2 bitters on the bar as well.
Yeah, and you've got the long drinks, the gin and juices behind there. You've got a bunch of stuff. Have an agua bomb. Have a Bolivian.
Gryphon classic right there.
Yeah, Gryphon classic. They go down. They're way better than Jägermeister, and they go down. Just Jägermeister. You can still sponsor me and give me money if you want to. That'd be great.
And some Jaeger would also be.
Some Jaeger as well. Which I will. Who am I kidding? I will drink it.
Yeah. And the first few will probably complain about it and go, herbal liqueur, don't like it. And then suddenly a bottle later, I love it!
Yeah, exactly, 3 in. It's like, it's brilliant. I love Jägermeister. But anyway, no, it's Alga's great. It's all good. You should come here and have a good time.
I agree. So this is, I don't know how many Belgians he's had on here, but this is one of the first I've had, at least.
Sorry, that's just sounding really weird. It's just sounding great. How many Belgians does he have behind the bar? A few, from what I've heard, a few. Move on.
I think as we're, again, the whole aspect of the podcast, we're going to go through local stuff. So we're obviously in the Gryphon, we're going to go do album reviews, we're going to go through gigs that we've been to, that we haven't been to, gigs coming up that people can go check out. We'll try, hopefully, get people to come along, come to the Gryphon as well, have a beer with us, buy us a beer, we'll buy you a beer in the gig, etc. But last night, I went to a gig that we talked about in the last podcast, and there was 2 reasons that I went to it. Firstly, your reaction to the opening act, which was Cruelty Circuit, was insane. You literally were jumping up and down going, oh my god, this is amazing, I'm so happy for him.
That was on the last episode. You probably heard me suddenly when you said I had no idea they were playing that gig, and then suddenly I was like, oh cool, he's playing, fuck. So
the reason I was interested originally, that was my second reason. The first reason was because Heart of a Coward were the mid band, who are a band I've been into for many years.
I've seen a couple of times and I've really enjoyed as well. Yeah.
And then the last band, I had never heard of them before, but I said I'd check them out because I was at that stage I committed to the gig, and they were Humanity's Last Breath, and they are unique. But you decided to be a bit too busy and you couldn't join us.
Okay, so obviously you and producer Danny went to this show.
We did.
Had a grand time. Before you guys
We'll get Danny on soon.
Before you guys talk about the gig, I just need to defend myself. So, what happened, gang, is Auntie Matteo unfortunately double booked themselves because they didn't sort out their personal diary, okay? Even though I've got a physical copy at home and one on my phone. Anyway, I had to go and run beginner Dungeons and Dragons at Cloak up in Gloucester Road, which was a lot of fun and a great time. Met some really
Where's
good
Cloak?
people. Cloak is just up past the school. It used to be Cloak and Dagger. It's now called Cloak. It's a really nice queer venue, cafe and bar. They do a lot of stuff there. They do open mics. They do a bunch of different things. It's really sound.
That's
obviously
cool.
Very queer friendly. Really lovely space. And one of the things they do, and I am one of the DMs who helps out, is they run beginner Dungeons and Dragons for people who may not have ever played it before. So
I said I'd have known some people would be interested.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's only £3. Come along. But it's the last Monday of every month, and of course I did the thing where I had missed the last 2 months, and so I was like, I'm 100% going to be there for this one. And then of course I'm like, oh cool, the gig's tomorrow. And then I get the message on Sunday being like, oh, is everyone wanting to run D&D tomorrow? And I was just sat there going, oh shit. So
I can't be in two places at the same time.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I had a really good time, no shade to them, but unfortunately I had agreed previous commitments, so I had to honour those agreements. So I am absolutely gutted I missed the gig, and you and Danny are going to talk about the gig now, and I'm really excited to hear about it.
We are. First band, Cruel to Circuit, came out.
They were fucking amazing.
They were a bit late.
Incredible.
They were about 15 minutes late, I would say, which helped us, because by the time we got in, got a beer and stuff, that helped. I had never heard of them before. I was only excited because Teo, you were excited by them.
Yeah, same.
They came out, and they could have played in front of 2 people, 100 people, and we got the same reaction. They were all full of beans. They got the crowd absolutely going.
They were off their nut. They were absolutely insane in such a good way. It was fucking so incredible.
Only way to describe it for...
I need to hear more of that fucking band.
Yeah, I agree. The only way I can describe it to the listeners, so it was a band I never heard of, but if you mix Primus, Soulfly, and System of a Down together, I think
Devil Driver,
bit of Devil Driver in there. I think you'd have their sound. So we'll go through the other bands, but I put them on today just to kind of hear the recorded stuff. It doesn't do them justice. Live is so much better. They have solid sound. It's like proper thumps you in the face. They're having fun. When you listen to the recorded one, you don't get the same wallop off the bass.
Okay, that makes
sense. It's a bit twangy. And I was a bit disappointed. They did do a cover of Prison Song, which I thought was quite apt.
Nice.
And then, they really set the tone for now. I thought were...
their choice of intro music as well was just so incredible. Like hearing Hobbits of Isengard at a fucking metal gig. Like I was not expecting that.
And having everyone sing along with it.
Yeah, literally.
And they didn't open for Heart of a Coward. I think that was the highlight for me of the gig.
Really? See, now for me actually, it was Cruelty Circuit.
Really?
Yeah, I fucking love them. They were fucking incredible. For me, they were the best band of the night.
I'm definitely following Spotify. I can safely say. Heart of a Coward, that was my first time ever seeing him. I don't know if you've seen him before.
No, I haven't.
That, like, the dude's vocals, he is so
range.
Powerful.
His range was insane.
He can hit the high pitch, he can hit the gutturals, and... Yeah, it was mind-blowing.
And the crowd interaction with that band was so good as well. Like, do you remember, what was it? There's one rule. Everyone in this venue, bang your fucking head. Oh, so good.
And he basically led it to every breakdown in the songs. So it was like, one rule.
And then you knew it was fucking coming.
And then it's just this monstrous boom. It was awesome. They absolutely... I don't know why they weren't the headliners until the headliners came out.
Oh yeah.
Like then that was Humanity Desperate was the last band to come out. Their sound is insane. I mentioned in the last podcast that it's kind of like a very tense, looming apocalypse, and live that's exactly what it is. Everything's on edge.
Didn't you say that it's the kind of soundtrack that you would expect at the end of the world?
Yeah. So we couldn't actually hear each other talk, so I put it in my phone and it was like, when I'm stood there looking at the end of the world, this is what I expect to hear. And it is just,
They were so tight, like technically such a fucking good band. So good.
The only gripe I had with them was there were stages where the drums were overpowering.
Yeah.
So, like, the blast beats would kick in. Love a bit of blast beat. And they did it in a metalcore kind of style. But it kind of drowned out some of the guitars. And basically, one of the common things for the entire gig was all the bands only had one guitar player, one bass player, drummer and singer. All 3 bands were the same. But the sound they were getting was insane. And I have no idea how they achieved it. But, like, it just kept... building and building, and then Humanity's that spread came out, and it was just this wall of sound, and you're just like, oh my god, this is insane.
Fucking brutal.
The singer was a bit elusive. He'd like this weird kind of towel thing over his head, and
like after each song he'd like fuck off, and like then like there wasn't really that much crowd interaction. Like sometimes the guitarist would be like fucking Bristol, and then everyone
bass player every song was like circle pit.
Yeah. Oh my god, the circle pits looked like fucking so intense.
They got them going.
Yeah, they did.
But it's the Fleece.
Yeah.
Now listeners, the Fleece is a fantastic venue. I love it. Good beer in there, good sound. But there's fucking poles in the middle of the floor. So you have this really aggressive band inciting a circle pit, and you see it, and people are cautious, kind of going, "Oh, there's a lot of poles here. Yeah. I'm gonna destroy myself." And I've seen people destroy themselves. I've seen people headbutt it, and break collarbones, and it kind of adds to the metal, I guess.
Yeah,
it's just a bit. if you get fucked up by a big concrete pole, wooden pole, then that's your own fault. So, final thoughts, someone?
Oh, fucking amazing. I'm gonna listen to all of them, like, more. I need to, especially Cruelty Circuit. I fucking love them so much.
I didn't find much of them on Spotify, so I went to the
really?
This is Cruelty Circuit playlist. There wasn't many songs in it. I don't know if they have a big catalogue. Theo, you can fill that in when you come back on mic. I assume they have quite a few, but maybe it's a YouTube thing or something that we need to start looking up.
Yeah, maybe.
The Humanity's Last Breath, live, they had this immense sound. Recorded, you can actually hear the guitars and stuff a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
So it was actually a bit more enjoyable, I would say, rather than just the drums kind of... My other gripe, I said there was two with them. Sorry, I'm kind of backtracking a little bit.
That's right.
The other one was, they're, I don't know how you describe it, it's kind of, they're using erratic timings in their songs. So it's this really powerful, heavy music that everyone's bang their head to. But if you're banging your head to something, you'll go with the snare drum, you'll get the rhythm there somewhere. Every time you went to it, it's like, oh, it's now changed and we got some screechy things going on. You're like, it kind of threw it a little bit.
I think that's why I love the other two bands a bit more, because you had that more of a groove, if that makes sense.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
But definitely, like, listeners, you've got to see these guys live. All of them, they were fucking incredible.
I would highly recommend all of them. Absolutely all of them. If they were playing together again, I would go see them all again.
Oh yeah, me too.
That was a fun gig. Very, very fun. So yeah, that was last night. That was a bit of a whim to go to, but part of the podcast, and hopefully listeners, you'll come on the journey with us, is we'll go explore music, and hopefully you'll be there with us and start to know what we like and trust us enough to come and join us there, I guess. And, you know, as we said in the last episode, see you in the pit. So yeah, there's a lot of local gigs coming up. There's quite a lot of heavy and death coming up, actually.
There's a lot of deathcore. Deathcore in Bristol seems to be going hand in hand at the moment, especially over the last couple of years, I've noticed. So there's definitely been some big shout outs on that front.
Yeah, in terms of death, I've come across quite a few. So
is this the Faces of Death gig?
That's the first one I was going to mention.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's big. So as far as I'm aware, Faces of Death aren't a band, right?
It's
the promotion.
Yeah,
or whatever. It's
the same band as I assume touring around.
Yeah. But Veils of Maya and Signs of the Swarm. Now,
and Burials into the Grave as well.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'll tell you now. So Signs of the Swarm in the deathcore scene have blown up very quickly. There's a reason for that, because I've listened to Signs of the Swarm. They are heavy as shit.
Yeah. What are we talking? Guttural vocals.
I mean, we're talking fast deathcore. So like, not a lot of like they're groovy, but like, whereas something like Chelsea Grin might be a little bit more bouncy, these guys are more like kind of, I guess, almost like kind of more grindcore.
Yeah. Okay.
Inspired, like it's way more just like in your face, like
blast beats flying,
really heavy. Like, I'm really enjoying them. I'm definitely eyeing up that gig. Veils of Maya are obviously very good as well, and then the other two bands I'd like to see, because obviously I'm always intrigued to see what these bigger bands bring on tour with them.
And what it feels like, this is a touring, like, let's say, mini festival. There's 4 bands playing.
Yeah. So Faces of Death is like the name of it, isn't it? And then that's kind of like...
I suspect you'll find this in Southampton, Birmingham, whatever.
It looks like they're doing a bunch of dates, but once again, I think it's the Fleece again.
It is the Fleece, yeah.
It's the Fleece
on the 28th of
Fleece
October.
is getting a lot of the deathcore stuff, like a lot of, like last year they had Carnifex and...
It's quite well suited, actually. I think it's the right size venue for it.
I saw Spite in there with Body Snatcher. Really good.
Horrendous name, by the way.
Yeah.
As death bands go, that's a pretty bad one.
Yeah, Body Snatcher are scary.
Yeah.
Body Snatcher are more definitely the slower, kind of almost spoken word part of deathcore. They've got some really... Everyone who knows what I'm talking about, listen to a song called King of the Rats by Body Snatcher, because it's basically it's not really a song, it's more like a threat. And it's basically what they are. And they were really good live. And Spite, obviously, are kind of like the new... I'd say Spite, out of all of the new quote-unquote deathcore bands that are coming up, are definitely the ones that are kind of making the most new waves. Like, they're really good, really worth it. But anyway, saw them at the Fleece, they were good. So I'm definitely looking forward to some more deathcore at the Fleece this year again as well.
Speaking of death, I think this one is probably going to tickle you if you haven't come across this. There's a Vomit Tour UK, which is again kind of the promotion thing.
Oh, I don't know about this.
And their tour thing that you want to call is called Party Cannon. and it's a death metal versus hardcore night.
Lovely. See, I've heard about this, but tell me more about it because I'm intrigued.
They haven't done much for it yet. It's in Tekla, which is a boat that's moored up in Bristol. I saw them on a mark there actually. That was quite fun. See the Viking band on a boat. 22nd September. There's no announcements of bands yet. They've just kind of put out the artwork there.
Party Cannon's a band.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Party Cannon's an insane band from Scotland, I want to say. So Party Cannon had been going for time, and they're like kind of like this cult. I was at Bristol Pride. I talked about in the last one. I was at Bristol Pride. I bumped into a guy in a kilt and I was like, the reason I stopped him to talk to him because he was wearing a Party Cannon t-shirt. So Party Cannon are like this kind of like cult insane band. I remember them first starting, like I swear they've been going for like a decade.
By their imagery, I want to say they're like a death pirate band.
Oh, they're completely bonkers. They just know they're everything. They're Party Cannon. That's the thing with Party Cannon is they are just Party Cannon.
So in which case, then they're playing.
Yeah.
Everyone else have got no idea.
Yeah.
So that'd be quite fun, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I'd love to see Party Cannon. I'd love to see them again. Like they've got they're an interesting band. They have a lot of fun with their stuff. So
I don't know what way they're going to do this because when I was looking up about this, it kind of feels like it's a kind of celebrity deathmatch, kind of like we're going to have this, we're going to versus this.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's a cute way of just having a gig, really, isn't it? It's like we're going to do a gig with two different kinds of music. So we'll turn it into like a battle of the bands thing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Which I quite like because it means that you can have like the hardcore kids there, and you can have the.
And they'll go for pints while the death is on. So.
Come on now. I would go and watch the death bands as well. By the way.
Yeah, I'm only joking. I know you're a true hardcore, but.
I've got a couple of ones that I'm actually going to this week. I've got. An interesting one. So this Thursday, Toki Horror are doing one of their last shows. So
who are they?
So Toki Horror are an interest. Okay, right. Here's a quick bit of lore. So basically, Toki Horror are two lead singers, Molly Rush and Ava. I want to say. Molly, I know because I kind of know her from Bristol. She lives in Bristol. So like them. Sorry, apologies. Them. I know them from Bristol.
Okay, well, that's a bad mistake there.
I know, and I'm non-binary as well. So there's that, and then basically, how do I describe Toki Horror's sound? They're like, it's kind of like the Prodigy, but with like hardcore guitars and drumming, and like thrash guitars and drumming. Like, I was in one of their music videos actually.
That's quite cool.
For a song called Toilet, but they're very, it's a great song. Had a good time. So like super queer, super crazy, like just kind of electronic and like heavy hardcore kind of thrash sound. What happened is they kind of got together while lockdown was on and basically made music, obviously like online. They're kind of from all over the shop. Some of them I think are in Birmingham, some of them are in Manchester, some of them are here, and it's all like
I like to
kind of like
a collective,
right? COVID. Yeah, so it's like a collective, and then they basically came out of lockdown, and because they built up so much kind of hype while they were making stuff during lockdown, they came out and literally just started playing sold out shows because everyone was just like, we want to see this band live.
We've listened to you for the last 2 years.
Exactly,
like, let's
right?
see you live.
And so they did a load and they got really big. Sadly, they've decided to call it a day. They've all got different projects that they're all doing. That's
the COVID thing was just a bit of a
I mean, that's the issue when you've got a collective like that. Half of them are all DJs in their own right or vocalists in their own right, and they're all in different bands and they do their own stuff. So Toki Horror sadly has burned very bright for like a bit, and now sadly is kind of calling it a day. But they played a lot, so they're playing one of their last shows in Bristol. So I'm probably going to try and go to that.
When's that? Got
Thursday.
This week,
which is for
2nd,
listeners,
1st of August?
The 1st of August. And they're supported by Knives, who are another really good Bristol band.
I know them.
Yeah. So their support, because funny enough, one of the last times I saw Toki Horror, Knives were also the support for that gig as well. So obviously they know each other.
So even though one of the members from Bristol, it seems like they've got a bit of a Bristol tie.
Yeah. No, Bristol Knives are great. I actually went to a headline show of theirs where they had Death Girl supporting them and stuff like that. It was really good at the Strange Brew. I like Knives a lot. Got a lot of time for them. Really fun kids. I'm glad to see them getting bigger as a band. I think they played 2,000 Trees I think this year and everything. So.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, good for them. No, they've worked really hard. They're really good. They're a lot of fun. You should go definitely check out Knives. I think it's Knives Noise on their socials. Anyway, So there's that, and then on Saturday, I've got a hardcore all-dayer at the Exchange called Gruzzy Fest. I can't pronounce this. Gruzfest at the Exchange in Bristol. I've got Life Crusher, No Relief, and Clobber are like the kind of main headliners.
Do you know any of them, or is it just
I do. I know Clobber the best out of them. I've heard of Life Crusher. No Relief are kind of the band that I'm looking forward to kind of watching that I don't know very well. Then, because it's like an all-dayer, we've got Overpower, which are otherwise known online as Overpower Thrash. They're fucking great, bonkers. And then we've got I'm actually mates with the Paul Collier, Perp Walk, who just played, they actually played Outbreak Festival in Manchester. So, them, Dead Slow, Uncertainty, obviously, another great Bristol band, really good. Without Love, Empire of Dust, looking forward to seeing them. Nerve Agent, I've heard of.
That's a cool name.
Mercury, Dandelion, Neighbourhood Watch, Tension.
Jesus Christ, that's quite a lot of bands.
Yeah, it's an all-day. So it's 20 quid all day at the Exchange.
What time does that start?
I'm not actually... Third all day.
12, 1-ish maybe?
Two stages, merch market, tickets.
Oh, you've got
doesn't actually
dancers.
say. I'm not seeing a time on here, unfortunately, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Then you've got Tensions, Crawler, and Fussy. So for me, obviously, there's a bunch of local bands that I have already seen on there, but there's also a bunch of smaller bands that I haven't seen that I've heard about within the hardcore scene that I really want to see. So I think for me, that's going to be a really fun Saturday of like watching a lot of like bigger and smaller bands in this kind of like not just the Bristol scene, but from outside the Bristol scene. So that's going to be really good, and finally getting to see some of these bands that I've heard about but not had a chance to see.
Do you think
yet.
Bristol's getting there with the hardcore scene?
Bristol and Cardiff, weirdly enough, Bristol and Cardiff are kind of going hand in hand. Paul Collier would talk about that, because obviously Perp Walk are kind of Bristol and Cardiff based, but both, the hardcore scene's really getting there. I mean, obviously, you've got North, Manchester hardcore scene from what I've been to and seen. Obviously, they've got Outbreak Festival, which is like the UK's big hardcore kind of festival.
Is Bristol kind of second, third?
No,
fourth,
I don't
fifth?
think it's second or third. I mean, I couldn't really calculate it like that, but it's definitely there. There's a scene there.
It's a scene.
You know, you've got Uncertainty, Tensions, like a bunch of these different bands that are definitely more local. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll try not to get spin kicked in the face, so it's going to be a good time.
Well, look forward to hearing the review in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
This weekend is actually very good for local music. Gryphon's got a load of stuff on. So on Friday, is that the 2nd? It is.
Yeah.
You got a band called Mantra, Bangover and Death Assault. So I don't know them, but the fact that it's 20 quid on the door, I would suggest they're probably a pretty decent band. They're a death trash kind of
John
style.
only charges like 20 quid when he knows he's like going to sell it out because they're really good.
I'm not sure there's any tickets left, actually.
There you go. Well, you might have to put a few. Bristol Metalcore podcast. Oh, please, we've got to review the show. Can we?
If you wouldn't mind getting us a ticket in.
You wouldn't mind letting us upstairs.
We can stand behind the sound bar, just saying.
We get in the way of the sound, guys.
And yeah, then on the 3rd, which is what, Saturday night?
Yeah, that's Saturday, because that's when I'll be at the all day. Yeah.
That's full-on metalcore. So we got Bleed Fifth, Abstinence, and
I've heard of Abstinence.
There was one other which I forgot to write down. That's unfortunate. They're so Bleed Fifth are the headliners. They're Welsh metalcore.
Nice. Hey, Wales well known for its metalcore. You know, it's well known. You know, a lot of metalcore bands have come out of Wales. So.
I'd probably say metalcore is one of my top genres.
I mean, there's so many different, there's so many different versions of it, like, really, if you think about it. So it makes sense. I mean, like, one of my favourite bands at the moment is Knocked Loose. And the reality is, yes, you can count them as a hardcore band, but really, they are also a metalcore band.
Yeah.
Like, that is what they are. And literally what a lot of people are saying, especially with their newest album, is what they've done is really push the envelope of, like, what metalcore can be.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed this before, like all the subgenres that are available.
Yeah, you know,
it's hard to pigeonhole bands,
don't you? And then this is this, and then I end up having my ear fucking talked off at the bar by some person like trying to tell me exactly, no, that's not this, it's that. And
this is the 200 subgenre.
Actually, what you'll find is this is not really metalcore. This is what we call bounce metal, and it's a subgenre of metalcore. But I don't think you quite understand really that what you're saying is metalcore is not quite actually. And this really, like, because of the thrash element. I mean, I'd call it more power violence. It's more power violence than metalcore. Actually, I think that's what you'll find. And I'm just stood there going, look, mate, I just.
Me and you are kind of like,
just enjoy the fucking tunes, man.
Exactly.
Like, just enjoy
it. Like,
enjoy the fucking tunes.
It sounds roughly like something you might like. Therefore, go and have fun. Like, yeah, I'm with you.
I'm all about vibes. I'm all about vibes, listeners. For me, it's all about vibes. It's not, it's not about specific genres and stuff. Really, for me.
On one other one I want to bring up in the local scene is, do you ever hear of a band called Locust with a K? So it's Lokust.
Ooh.
So I went to Bloodstock last year, which is something I'll bring up later. Yeah. They're one of the bands, so Bloodstock are very good with their PR of like promoting bands.
They do metal to the masses, don't they? So like
they're really in the community,
yeah. All around, yeah.
And Locust is one of the bands I wanted to go see. They were on my Clash Finder and everything.
Right.
Absolutely going to go see them. I think I may have been in the medical tent because I may have broke my ribs.
Hey, look, you're so metal. It's like, sorry guys, I missed your set.
I was in a wall of death for fit for an autopsy, and a big fella came down to me, and about an hour later I stood there kind of going, I'm struggling to breathe. I should probably...
Autopsy wall of death, that's
in the front row of it!
You don't want to be on the front row.
I saw it just happened, and I just went down, and as I was going down, the biggest fella in the crowd came down top of me. I was like, oh, this is gonna sting.
Yeah.
About an hour later I was like holding my ribs kind of going, why is it always the ribs? And also, this is hurting. I need more beer. That didn't help.
No.
So I went to the medical tent, and I think at that time when I went to the medical tent, I actually missed Locust.
Fair.
But they were playing here about 2 or 3 weeks afterwards.
Nice.
So I was like, absolutely going to check them out this time with non-broken ribs. Yeah. Happy days. Very good. They're kind of speedy trash metalcore.
So, when are they playing?
Here. No, they're not playing here. That would be because we'd be here.
Yeah.
It's on tonight. It's in the Exchange, so obviously.
Tonight at the Exchange. Going. Oh well, But yeah, we'll have to check. Are they local then or no?
No. I think they're Brighton or London.
Okay. Are they a Metal to the Masses winner then? Is that why?
I think they were.
Bloodstock. Okay, so they're like winner of the Metal to the Masses for their area. Sorry, for the listeners at home, like Bloodstock, the Metal to the Masses thing is like a battle of the bands. They have it in a bunch of different areas around the country. And basically the winner then gets to play Bloodstock. So then when you end up with a Bloodstock you end up with all these local bands who have...
I think they were one of the ones that went through. I'm not sure on that fact, but they're not very well known. But
no.
They're clearly ascending because they've done Bloodstock, they played here, now they're in the Exchange.
Yeah.
They're like, their capacity's getting bigger.
Cool. Well, sorry that we're missing you tonight, guys, but we're on podcast duty, so...
Unfortunately so. It would have been a good one to see.
The Exchange is good, Benny. Like I said, I'll be there on Saturday. Like, the Exchange is fun.
There's another death metal tour that was announced for the Exchange, actually.
Go for it.
I don't know what they called it, but it was just a generic death metal tour.
Yeah.
And we've got Ascended Dead, Slime Lord, Cryptworm, and Hellish Torment all playing.
I've not heard of any of them.
And all their descriptions are most brutal death metal you can get.
Oh, lovely. I'm up for a bit of that. When's the date for that?
17th September.
17th? Okay, cool. So we got a bit of time. Maybe we can sort that out. That sounds like a good one. Sounds like a good one. You know what? I mean, honestly, I'm just well happy, like, having this conversation in general. Like, I remember when, back in the, like, over a decade ago, the Bristol heavy scene in general, didn't matter what kind of heavy stuff, punk, thrash, hardcore, grindcore, all of that kind of stuff. It was all, like, pretty big. And then it definitely feels like maybe there's kind of like a decade in there where it really kind of fluctuated, went a bit up and down. I really feel like that we're kind of coming back into like a golden era of Bristol heavy.
It feels
music.
like it.
All the venues have got heavy, like we've just named like about 4 venues that have all got heavy shows.
Absolutely.
The Fleece, the Exchange, here the Gryphon, obviously the Gryphon.
Thekla.
The Thekla, like Lost Horizons is where Toki Horror's playing, like, and they've got Knives Noise there. Like a bunch of them, like, so it's really nice to see that like. I just feel like heavy music in general, regardless of genres, like really coming back to Bristol in a big bad way. And we're getting bigger shows. We're getting bigger and bigger shows. Like obviously SWX or the O2 are the 2 main ones.
Fuck the O2.
Fuck the O2. Fuck the O2. Always fuck the O2. But you know what I mean. We're getting those bigger shows, like
and other venues are catering for it as well.
Yeah. Got some big heavy hitters. Obviously, unfortunately, we don't have a stadium here in Bristol, so we're never going to get like the stadium level bands. Obviously, that's always going to be more Cardiff, but in general,
we're getting there.
Yeah,
when they build it up by the runway, we will get there.
They've been promising us a stadium for 15 years.
I mean, I work on the site where it's been built. The hangar's there.
Yeah,
and Queen did their...
You say that now. I'm sorry, but at this point, I'm so burned. I will believe that we have a stadium when I see a fucking stadium.
Hopefully the podcast is still going by then, and we can actually...
We'll be outside. We'll be outside going, we're outside the stadium now, as we've seen.
And if you remember from episode 2, when we referred to the stadiums that we want to be there...
Well, as a Bristol Rovers fan, sorry to all the Bristol City viewers, I love you as well.
Ooh, soccer.
But
that's a turn.
Yeah, I know. I'm one of the weird queers that's into football. I know I'm a strange.
So you're a City fan or a Rover fan?
Rovers fan. Come on.
That won't go down well with our listeners.
I know. Or just divide the listener base into two. No, I love you guys. I live in Bedminster, so I have to be quiet about it. Anyway, if you live in Bristol, you'll understand that. But Bristol Rovers for a long time were supposed to be the ones that were going to build the stadium because it was going to be the new brand.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. Like, we were going to build this big new stadium, and that was also going to be the music venue. Because Bristol City Stadium does occasionally have bigger bands. Like, they had the Arctic Monkeys, and they have the things. Now, honest to God, this is no shade to Bristol City just because I don't support the club. But I have heard not very good things about the sound.
It's not designed as a music venue.
It's not, whereas apparently the Rovers one was going to be more designed as like a football stadium.
Shame they can't play soccer to save the day, though, you know. So.
Yeah. Hey, look, alright.
Oh, I said him off. Oh.
Right.
We're
in League One. Okay.
Theo, have a drink. Players. You'll be fine.
It's fine.
Sip that Belgian beer.
It's not that. It's just, it's hard work supporting Rovers. I fucking love Rovers, but I've watched us go down into the conference leagues and watched us come back out of it again.
That's why you won't get the
People
stadium.
don't understand real football. If you're sat there and you're like, I support a Premiership team, good for fucking you. Good for you. You support a Premiership. You have no idea what it's like supporting a lower league football club.
Unless they were good enough to, work the whole way up.
Yeah.
Which. Anyway, the arena is going to happen at Filton.
Yeah.
There was a fun thing that happened with it recently where Queen... I was up on my lunch break and it was...
Queen showed up? Fucking hell.
Yeah, not the Queen. She'd be a bit...
What happened there?
She'd be a bit... a little bit decayed at this stage.
Yeah.
Her gold tomb.
Yeah.
No, the band Queen.
Okay, the band. Wait, the band Queen.
Yeah, so I was sitting outside. It was a nice day. Get one of them a day over here, a year over here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was sat outside eating my lunch, and it was clearly a private helicopter was flying around the site. It's like, that's a bit weird. Like, this is a kind of restricted site. All right, cool, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. Turned out that was Brian May because they use what will be the Filton Arena,
right,
as a predecessor to their tour. As in, they set up the full stage show, everything there, just to test it so that they knew the scale of it and what they were doing and everything else.
Shit, okay.
So the private helicopter was fucking Brian May flying in. Just to do a rehearsal at the end of the site.
Christ. Imagine being like that rich and that big, where you just get...
Yeah, fuck the rest of the band, I got my own helicopter.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. If I ever get that rich, you will never catch me on a helicopter or a private
By
jet.
yourself?
No. Not even by myself. Not with anyone. If you know, you know.
Hopefully
the amount of people we've lost or have almost died, Travis Barker,
he was scarred for life after that.
Exactly, right. And that's why, doesn't matter how famous we get, doesn't matter how big this podcast gets, I'm not getting in the fucking helicopter. I'm not getting in the
Theo, we can go first class on Emirates or something. That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Well, you get us, you sort us out with Ryanair, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, exactly.
So you're going to dig at me about the football, I dig at you about Irish stuff.
That hurts on so many levels.
Good, I'm glad.
Right back at you, motherfucker. And the discussion of gigs, let's kind of upscale it a little bit.
Yep.
So we've kind of hit the local scene.
Yep.
The big, let's say, Bristol announcements.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good point of the podcast where we're going to go, if you're a local band, hit us up on the socials.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us. We'll gladly listen to you. And
funny enough, talking about Cruelty Circuit, obviously I know Bill, the guitarist from Cruelty Circuit. I've messaged him, so hopefully we are going to get him on the podcast to have a little chat.
That'd be fun.
And also Paul Collier, who I mentioned earlier, the lead singer of Perp Walk. Also as well, hopefully he's going to come on when I start having some chats with some local bands. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And
same goes for Venues, if you're listening to this,
hey, look,
get in touch.
Like we mentioned, it was at the last podcast. We said that we'd happily interview the sound tech guys from SWX to figure out how they're getting really good sound
and introduce them to
the
the
also
O2.
breweries. You know, you want to come and talk to us about your Belgian beer? Just hit us up. Just bring a case with you and.
You can have 10 minutes on the mic, you'll be fine.
10 minutes, and then fuck off.
We're on a time, man.
Free beer, 10 minutes, leave. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's go towards the slightly bigger ones. There's not a huge amount of announcements. I think the biggest one I came across was Niall.
So Danny actually told me about the Niall gig the other day.
It's in Fleece again, 5th of September.
Yeah, I like Niall. I like some of their songs. It's not fully my bag personally. So obviously you and Danny's definitely very excited about this gig, and a bunch of my mates are very excited about seeing Niall. I understand. Niall are great. Are they Italian? No.
I don't think they're Italian, but they're not normal Scandinavian, I would say. I'm not sure. Danny, can you look this up for us, please? Thank you.
Going full Joe Rogan now, like, Danny, look that up.
When I was a kid, Niall scared the shit out of me.
What was it? Was it like Rivers of Nile that were an Italian band? Anyway.
That's Niall, isn't it?
But obviously, I do like some of their music, but like for me personally, like, a gig that maybe I'm not that fussed about, but so many people I know are very excited about going.
I'm just saying. So when I saw it was announced, I put it into one of many music groups to have,
yeah.
and lots of people were excited by it.
Yeah.
I'm not hugely excited by it because I said, like, when I was a kid, they scared the crap out of me. I don't know why. It was just this sound out of them. I was just that's a bit.
Well, I think then what we have to do is send producer Danny to this gig. We'll send producer Danny to reconnoiter as she's.
I think so.
Yeah.
So that's September.
Yeah.
And no major other announcements. We've got Arctangent coming up. Hold on, Danny's looking at us. American.
Right.
So we got it totally wrong. Sorry about that.
No. I just swear that there is a. No, I can't make. I believe it's Rivers of Nile. Anyway.
It is Nihil, I think, the ones you're referring to.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Right then. So.
Next one I came across was Arctangent, which is.
Of course, that's coming up. Arctangent Festival just outside of Bristol.
2 weeks' time?
I'm actually kind of gutted. I wanted to go last year and I just couldn't kind of make it work with taking time. Just because I went in trees. I went to a bunch of festivals last year. So I kind of couldn't really. The money and the time off. Even though I'm self-employed, like at the end of the day, fine. It's great. If you're self-employed, you can have all the holiday you want. But the issue is, you don't make any money when you're not working. So if I'm not tattooing, I ain't making any money. So I kind of had to call it, even though it is just outside of Bristol.
It is a metal festival, right?
It's the same people who do trees, do 2000 trees, whereas trees is like the kind of more rock, hardcore, punk one, a bit more like slam dunk kind of vibes. Arctangent is like the experimental one. So like, obviously they had Devin Townsend last year. You've got bands like Igor. You've got Swans were on last year. Now this year you've got, I believe, like Mugwire headlining one of the days, that's one of the headliners that I was looking at. I really like Mugwire, so I kind of
Meshuggah, Animal
Meshuggah as well. Fuck, I forgot Meshuggah were headlining. Shit, man.
And I didn't know much about this festival, but I saw Meshuggah Bloodstock last year, and they're now headlining Arctangent.
I haven't seen Meshuggah in like 10 years.
That was my first time seeing them, and they put on a hell of a show.
I haven't seen Meshuggah in time. I saw them at either Sonosphere or Download or something like that, like years ago.
So they're headlining Arctangent.
Yeah, that's going to be fucking good.
I don't know what size Arctangent is.
Arctangent, I'm fairly sure is the same as Trees, so roughly I want to say between like 7,000 and 8,000 people, so it's not massive. I'm fairly sure it runs the same way as Trees as well, which is like, it's a smaller festival, like what we call a medium-sized festival.
It wouldn't
medium-sized festival. I think Trees did last year. So how it works, I'm fairly sure that Arctangent is the same. Obviously, it's a different area because 2,000 Trees is in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Whereas Arctangent is much closer to Bristol. I can't remember the exact area.
It's Fernhill, I don't know where it is.
Yeah, it's like literally just outside of Bristol. Like a lot of people actually do this thing where if you get enough of you together, you can all chip in to just get a taxi to the site.
Okay.
And then you can just chip in to get a taxi back. Like, you don't actually, if you live in Bristol, you can get away maybe with not. If there's enough of you, you can all chip in a tenner and then you can get a taxi to and from. Like, you don't even have to camp. Anyway, but the way that their festivals work
a big selling point.
is if you take booze with you, you're allowed booze and stuff in the main festival site.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing already. Because
what, as in the arena?
And you're allowed it in the arena. Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
literally, like, trees is open doors. Like, literally, you can carry all your bottles and cans from your campsite into the arena. I think the only thing maybe they look out for is glass.
Well, that makes sense,
as long as you got
damage.
cans, so just as long as you got cans on your plastic bottles, that's fine. And so and it's not like from trees. I remember because I kind of timed it last year. I walked from the main stage at trees.
You've done 2,000 trees, right?
2,000 trees. I've done a couple of times now. 2 or 3 times.
Ever done Arc Tangent?
No. So, but yeah, trees was big because the reason I'm saying this, listeners, is because I think it's about the same size. Obviously, the sites are different, but with trees, I walked from the main stage all the way back to the top of the hill in the campsite where my tent was, 45 minutes. So all the way from like the main stage all the way back there, 45 minutes. And I think Arc Tangent's the same. So
and you've got free reign, as in...
Free reign, yeah.
One of the things I don't like about Download, it's too big.
Too big, and you have to walk around half the race course, and it takes you fucking an
hour and a half
to
get back.
Fucking get anywhere, and yeah.
And you get to a point where it's like, I may as well just stay in the arena.
I'm just tired of shit. Yeah, I'll stay in the arena.
And pay 12 quid for a pint.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how they get you. And obviously, Download doesn't let you bring any drinks into the main arena anyway.
So you have to stand there next to the security guard going, this is really painful to drink. It's a lot of vodka. Asshole. Yeah. But yeah, Arc Tangent looks like it
looks good. I've got to be honest, I'm on the fence. If for whatever reason things change in the next couple of weeks and maybe I can get the money together and maybe some mates are going, I might at least try and go for one day, be it the Sugar Day or the Mogwai Day, I'm not sure.
I think Explosions in the Sky is
I like Explosions in the Sky, but for me it's Mogwai and Sugar are the 2 main ones that I'm looking at that I'd like to see.
I believe that's the Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, listeners, like their festivals, what they do is they do them Thursday to Saturday, and then you go home on Sunday. So the first day of full music is the Thursday.
I actually prefer that.
I like that as well. It means you can get home on a Sunday, and then you're ready to kind of like, look, if you have to go back to work, if you have to, which is still shit because you're going to be hungover.
Yeah.
But like, if you have to go back to work,
I did it for Download one of the years that I went, where obviously you see the headliners the Sunday,
and then everyone leaves. But you see it so much at Download, like loads of people leave on the Sunday before the headliners.
You sit in the car park for 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Because like loads of people are just going home because they're like, I have to get home on Sunday. I can't afford to be going home on Monday.
I had work and had to be in by 8 o'clock on Monday morning.
I honestly think it's an interesting thing that more festivals should look at. More festivals should look at it
Thursday, Saturday.
Because it's weird. Like it is weird how people's time off works. Like they could get a Thursday off, but taking a Monday off as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like Trees and Arc Tangent, you can go on the Wednesday if you want, but then you know that the music's going to start the next day. Yeah. It's not like Download where yes you can 2 days earlier. It's like, I don't understand why people do that, to be brutal.
Nor do I. Yeah, you sit in the field and get fucking wrecked.
I understand that
they
have a few like extra secret bands, and to be fair, Trees and Arc Tangent, Trees definitely do that. They have like secret Wednesday bands. They'll have like one of the stages open, and they'll have like 2 or 3 bands actually like play.
That's quite
nice.
Fun.
I know, it's great. And it's honestly the price is good. I couldn't name you the ticket prices off the top of my head, but their prices aren't too crazy.
Yeah, you're not going to be paying several £100s.
No, and like a lot of friends I know even do the VIP stuff. That you pay that bit extra, get the VIP, so then they're camping right next to the main arena and like just fucking go for it. So yeah, it's good. I might do it. You might be hearing from me about that because I might end up doing it.
I'm interested. I only started looking into it more recently.
Well, we should have a conversation.
Well, yeah. But then I can't drink, so that's.
I know. Listeners, don't worry, I'll get in there.
But we could do a day. I'm not against that idea.
We could go do a day. We could go do a day.
I'll drink for
both of us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Yeah, there's 100 bands playing, over 100 bands.
I know, there's loads, yeah.
I think that's pretty good. As we're on the festival vibe, coming before that one, the week before in fact, Bloodstock.
Of course, Bloodstock. Still haven't gone. It's a big black mark on my record as a festival goer and a gig goer.
It is the best festival I've been to.
I have been invited so many times. I have been told to come so many times, and I still, for whatever reason, life shit, work shit, time shit, money shit, have just never gone, and I'm gutted.
Last year was the first year I committed to it, and I've been talking with John, one of the Gryphon, for many years.
Yeah. Knock Loose played last year. They were like main stagers last year.
They were?
And I told my friend Jamie to go see him, and she was just like, who's in my band? And I was like, you got to go see this because this is one of the reasons we started a band. And she went and watched them, she was like, they're fucking bonkers. I was like, yep.
All the headliners completely tore it apart for me. As soon as I saw the announcement of the headliners, but Sugar, I was always like, Are they really headliners? Their show was amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they're just this dominant force with this huge stage behind them. It was awesome.
But that's what Bloodstock does. I think this is an episode 0 rant, but like, I had the rant about how Download kind of focuses too much sometimes on having legacy bands. What's great about Bloodstock is it gives bands that should have headlined Download the chance. Lamb of God, Machine Head, Meshuggah,
Killswitch Engage last year. First time they've ever headlined a festival.
And they should have these are all bands that we all know are massive. Like, and they should have been headlining festivals in this country for fucking years already. They should have been given that chance. Bloodstock gives them that chance, and I think it's fucking great.
What I love, the many things I love about Bloodstock is it's a perfect size. So you can get to those 3 main stages, and then there's the 8th
How many people do you reckon it is?
10 to 15,000, somewhere around there. It's not huge.
Well, whereas like Download's like what?
70.
Is it 70,000 now?
Download's massive.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it now? Fuck. Anyway,
Bloodstock can't get any bigger by its grounds.
Good. And
which is
they
fantastic.
Don't want to, but they don't want to. They don't want to turn it into Download where they add like an extra like 10,000 people every fucking few years.
The ones who set it up are just straight up metalheads.
Yeah, exactly.
They love putting it on for people.
And as we said earlier, the Metal to the Masses thing, that always earned my respect.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they go out of their way, they put their time, their money, their advertising into countrywide running like a Battle of the Bands thing to get local bands playing Bloodstock.
And it's done as a proper competition. Like, you have to get through your own local region.
Battles really, like, the bands really go for it. I remember when Separation, this is years ago, Separation local band, like they were like, obviously they kind of really got the hype behind them in Bristol. Everyone loved them, and everyone kind of knew they were going to win. But they still had to fight tooth and nail against a bunch of different bands that were very, very popular. You know,
absolutely.
I think it's great. I think it's really, really good.
I love the fact that they're basically local, and it's amazing. Like, it was funny when I was there. I was at one of the bars after one of the bands played, and this random fella came up to me, and he was like, "Do you like Pantera?" And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you know, they're good, yeah. He's like, we're like a modern version of them. I'm like, alright, that's a bit random. He's like, where are you going with this? He's like, I'm playing tomorrow at 2 o'clock if you want to come check me out.
Nice.
Like,
I like
cool,
it.
man.
I like it when band members do that. I've had that at a couple of festivals. I actually kind of respect the hustle of that when band members will go around and be like, "Hey, look," or DJs sometimes at different kinds of festivals that will happen. They'll be like, "Look, do you want to come see us set? Do you want to come see us play?" And they're like, go around and pitch it to people. Yeah, because you're like, "Oh, okay, then fuck it. Well, I might."
They're on my list.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah, exactly.
And they were awesome.
But yeah, I'm gutted. Honestly, I don't know whether maybe next year it's got to be the thing. I finally have to do Bloodstock 2024.
So this year, like, there's a lot of good bands playing, like Septic Fresh doing no
I'm
UK
gutted about
performance.
last year. I've got to be honest, the lineup for me this year is good, but it's not like last year's lineup. I should have fucking gone last year.
Last year was amazing.
There was too many bands that I loved last year, and I should have fucking made the effort.
I spent the entire weekend stood on my feet watching bands.
Yeah, exactly.
And walking, like, you'd literally walk 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes next stage, catch another band.
Yeah.
And they were so nicely spaced that they weren't interfering with each other.
It's supposed to be a really good festival, really well.
It's excellent. You can walk back to your tent in 20 minutes.
And also because of the time of year it is in this country, it actually tends to have decent weather. Whereas obviously Bloodstock can get rained out really easily. And
well, talking with John from Gryphon, who's a religious goer, goes every year.
Bloodstock goer.
The year before I went, so 2 years ago.
So not last year, the year before, both because Boomtown and Bloodstock were on the same weekend. It was so hot that people couldn't go out. People couldn't go out to the main stages because of the dust that was in the air. People needed blackout tents. It was just
it was over 30 degrees.
It was like over 35 degrees the entire weekend. Like both those festivals were on.
And if you're in a tent without like something to block out the sun, it's hotter and there's no fucking shade. So this year I looked. So every year they announce the headliners on the Friday stage, like sometime midday kind of thing. Not midday, mid bands. And when they announced it last year, I was like, Opeth, I'm not a huge fan of. Yeah. Their old stuff is good. I'm
a bit the same. Like once again, Opeth's not a band I dislike, and they are a band that I like. I like a fair amount of their songs, but I don't listen to them.
They are doing a fan-based set list.
Yeah, that's really good.
Where are you going with it?
I just like it when bands do that. I like when bands do that, and I like it when, because it does mean that maybe you get some of the album tracks that you don't normally get.
You've got to get the deep cuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they announced Architects, which I'm not a fan of at all. That's a
Architects,
download band.
I mean, I used to be back in the day when they were more part of the British hardcore scene, but like obviously now they are one of the most ripped off bands going because like especially in the we were talking about metalcore earlier, like that Architect guitar riff sound that they kind of started. Let's be real, like a lot of bands ripped that off.
Yeah. And the kind of the high squeals in the middle.
Just a quick bit of goss there. Some weird shit going on with the guitarist. Don't know what's going on, but he's sharing some weird right wing shit. And they had to come out and apologise about it before their tour, and it's just like...
Sounds like they need a new guitarist.
Going on, maybe not, but you know, at least he needs to fucking say... I don't know, he might have said something about it by now, but like, it was a bit like, he's sharing like some weird shit where we might be having a weird one.
Another one of those conversations like, we should have seen this coming.
Yeah, hopefully not, but yeah. So, I don't know.
Final headliners in One Mark, which is one of my favourite bands.
Nice.
Love them.
Nice.
They've come out this year and they're so hyped for the festival.
Yeah.
They want the biggest row ever.
Yeah.
They want a festival size crowd to do it. And it's going to happen.
Nice. I love it. Well, I'm gutted I'm not going.
I'm not going this year neither.
It might have to be 2024 for me. That will finally be the year that Auntie Matteo goes to Bloodstock.
I've already set in my calendar the date the VIP ticket's going to sale, which is 14th
For next year,
August.
for 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I want to do VIP because they do a craft beer festival as well.
Oh,
and stuff,
do
so
they?
it's,
I'm all about that.
it'd be quite fun.
2024, this is it. Fuel for my fire. Good.
2025.
Oh
yes.
shit! Producer Danny's just pointed out that next year is 2025, not 2024.
Where are the years going,
2024.
So yeah, shall we?
Leave that in. Leave all of that in. Go on.
Biggest news that's ever happened. I think I'm so excited by it.
Yeah.
Gojira opening the Olympics.
Fucking brilliant. In a castle.
Did you watch it?
Yes.
Oh my god, it was fucking
Mary
amazing.
Antoinette.
The whole thing. She was imprisoned in that castle.
Yeah.
They were playing out the side of it.
Yeah.
Fucking fire everywhere.
It's like heavy metal Disneyland. What the fuck was going on?
And it was a French Renaissance song that they covered in Gojira style.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It was exceptional.
What's been hilarious is how many people online have been like, wait, Gojira French? I've seen a lot of like...
The only thing I'm seeing is that they're satanic. People are coming out and saying, why was the Olympics satanic? You're like, you think that's satanic?
Yeah, well, look, you want to... Without getting too deep into that, look, a lot of people got angry about all the drag queens reenacting. What everyone said was reenacting the Last Supper. They weren't. They were reenacting another older painting that was actually like a Greek Dionysus thing.
Yeah.
But of course, all the conservatives just lost their minds about how the Olympics is now woke and everything's terrible and blah blah blah.
The outrage is funny.
No, I'm glad the Olympics has outraged everyone. Good.
Go watch it.
Good. Go watch it. You know what? Good. It's full of gay people and fucking heavy metal. So it's fucking brilliant.
You know the Olympics put on a sex ban.
What?
The athletes aren't allowed to have sex.
Hasn't somebody been kicked out of? I saw some
recently.
Yeah. She went and hooked up with her boyfriend or something, and That's weird. Look, I gotta be honest, listeners, ladies and germs, and everyone in between. I don't fucking watch the Olympics. I don't fuck with the Olympics.
I'm not nowhere near good enough to
I don't give a shit. The only reason I give a shit this time is because it's
Gojira. They were standing outside of a castle where Marie Antoinette was imprisoned.
It's awesome. It's fucking...
It was the most metal thing ever.
It was great.
It started that way, and then the orchestra lady came across with on a boat. And it worked so well.
Yeah. You know what? I really hope that some metal festivals, I don't care where in the world, but just some of them learn from that. It's like, you know what, if we put the effort, because like the pop stars have figured this out.
Yeah.
Go big. Like Coachella know to give their headliners like Tyler the Creator headlined Coachella this year. He had like a whole set.
Yeah.
He had like the stage is a set. It's a story. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
People love that
metal
shit.
festivals need to start listening to that. Give Gojira a castle and let them headline Download.
And
give
you
them
know
a fucking castle.
They fucking rocked it. I watched a video of it. They were stood on the side of this fucking castle, going ballistic.
Out of like portcullis windows. I loved every second of it.
It was absolutely incredible.
I loved it.
What a statement for the metal community.
Yeah, great.
To be fair to the French, they actually are proud of Gojira.
Good, and they should be, because Gojira's fucking sick.
They are fucking awesome.
Gojira is great.
It was incredible, and I love that it's now created backlash. Oh, it's satanic.
Yeah, good. We should always remember, everyone, like metal, punk, hardcore, all this stuff
Satan.
should always be making conservatives angry.
Well, yeah.
Right? You should always be making conservatives...
It's kind of in the name, isn't it?
Like Billy Connolly very famously does a bit from years ago where he's like, Christian rock and roll is shit and it shouldn't exist, right?
Fact.
Rock and roll should be, I am the devil and I want to fuck your mother. It's not for you. This is famously what he ends up just screaming at the crowd. It's not for you. It's not for you. Do you know what? It isn't for you.
Yeah.
And that's my take.
I agree. I think it's a great thing for metal. I think it was fantastic to see it. There was pyro everywhere. There was
It's mad.
red
It's mad.
ribbons and all sorts of cool shit.
For whatever reason you've been under a rock and you haven't watched it, get on the YouTube, pull up the
Gojira Olympics.
I reckon people will be watching that opening ceremony the same way that we watched the China one, the Beijing one.
Yeah.
It was bonkers with like the thousands of children all drumming in sync at the same time dressed as dinosaurs. I honestly felt I was I was on a lot of drugs at the time at that point.
Which drug have I done now?
I think that's true. I'm alright, aren't I? I'm looking at Danny as well. I didn't make that up. The Beijing Olympics had that insane. Yeah, okay. Right.
They're obviously going over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna, there we go.
Well done, Gojira. Well done, France.
Well done. I like that Gojira turned around, the lead singer turned around. He was like, he did an interview and he was like, it's pretty fucking metal, isn't it? He was like, I'm outside a castle. Marie Antoinette was imprisoned here. Yeah, we're playing a metal song. Yeah, it is.
It's great. Really loved it. Got to be honest, we'll probably watch none of the Olympics at all. I don't care. But I enjoyed that, so that's all that matters.
But you like soccer.
Hey, look! Like they got that at the Olympics. I don't bother watching it because it's a waste of fucking time.
Because it's not professional. So
yeah, exactly. It's not good.
Well, anyway, it was good. I think
I've got my fantasy football team to worry about. You know what I mean? People wasting their time at the Olympics. Anyway,
I think that is the highlight of the main metal news, to be honest.
Mate, it's everywhere. It's all over Instagram, it's all over Twitter, it's all over everything. You know?
It's going to do Gojira even more than they could have imagined.
Yeah, exactly. It's blown them up. I honestly think Gojira have to get headline sets from this. I'm sorry, it's cemented. Downloads 2025.
They're rumoured for Bloodstock.
2025. Are they rumoured for Bloodstock?
There's a rumour floating around that it'll be Bloodstock.
If we do this whole Bloodstock thing and we actually go next year and we maybe like do a review, or
and if it was Gojira, imagine that
from Bloodstock next year, which is what we should look at doing. If Gojira are one of the headliners,
they'd be up for it as well. You know that. Bloodstock and Gojira.
I reckon Download will try and pinch them down.
I don't know. They're not really a download band.
No, but I reckon that after this, Download are going to try and pinch them.
Who's currently trending? Who? Gojira?
Yeah, exactly.
Who are they?
But that's how Download operate and not how Bloodstock operate. That's exactly how Download operate. They're like, Gojira's got all these likes and followers.
But the guys in Gojira are straight up metalheads.
Good. I mean, hopefully. Hey, look, fingers crossed, touch wood, blah, blah, blah.
We're going to be seeing them live headline at some stage
point,
next year.
I'll pay the money. I don't care where it is.
They're fantastic live, but now they got even bigger following.
Yeah. I remember seeing them middle of the day. Once again, it was either Sonosphere or Bloodstock. I don't know, but yeah, can't wait to see them again.
Yep, likewise. In other kind of fun news, one that Danny sent me earlier, and I looked it up, and it is legit news. It's very funny. So
what's happening now? Danny's already laughing. What's happening now?
So the dude from Darkthrone, proper old school black metal band, right?
Yeah.
He's accidentally become a town councillor in his local village in Norway.
What?
Accidentally,
how do you end up doing that accidentally?
So he was asked to be in opposition.
You do it as bands.
Basically,
that's what happened. He did it as a lol.
And exactly.
Trying to keep up with the kids. Sorry, I'm using the link.
And it got to a point where people were starting to kind of come behind him and
hey. And then everyone actually just voted for him.
And his literal campaign was a picture of him with his cat holding up the sign going, "Please don't vote for me." It's fucking outrageous. And
I love politics. But that's the thing. That's the internet age for you. You can't do that. It's like when that fucking
he actually tried to stop it.
Vote that they wanted everyone to name, and it got called Boatface, and they had to ignore it.
They didn't. They actually haven't.
Never give the internet generation the fucking
so he's horribly annoyed that he got it.
Yeah, because now he's got to do an actual job and be a town councillor and actually sort out potholes and shit
in his local village in Norway. Exactly. He's like, what the fuck?
I don't care. I want to go on tour.
I literally put up a sign saying, "Don't vote for me."
But that's the internet. As soon as you put that sign up,
let's make Rage Against the Machine #1 for Christmas.
Right? Politicians should learn from that, right? Like, literally say, don't vote for me. I'm terrible. I'm awful. I'm going to do a bad job. Everyone's going to vote for you just on the pure fact that everyone's fucking... Like,
want to see what happens.
Exactly. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
now he's going to be there. He's going to have to... Can't go on tour properly because he's got to do, like, local council meetings and fucking...
And that's going to be the thing. Like, he's going to have to do that.
Well, I'm so sorry. The sewage system is backed up recently. Trying to figure out...
I took a hard shit earlier.
The municipal budget needs to be sorted. He's just like, I just want to go on tour and play fucking metal.
Here's my cat. I'm going on tour.
Here's my cat in my place. I'm going on tour to play metal.
I actually hope he does that.
That's fucking brilliant. If he puts his cat in for him, that's going to be even better.
I'm delegating to my cat. Like, just... Now. Councillor Tibbles, what would you... Mow. Outrageous news. I just love it though.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Thanks, Daddy. That's fucking tickled me. That.
Yeah. I think in a few other... one more bit of news before we move on. What did I pick? Jerry Cantrell, let's go there.
Wait, who?
Guitar player for Alice in Chains.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Released, he's announced a solo album, which is very good.
Gotta be honest, not the biggest Alice in Chains fan.
He's a very good guitar player though. He categorised a genre by himself.
True, that is very true. 100% I agree with you on that.
So his solo stuff it's just him having fun.
It's just him playing guitar, is it? Or is it him with the band?
He does vocals, but this one he's got like Metallica on it, he's got Guns N' Roses on it, Fate No More on it.
Oh, okay.
He's basically does a collab album.
We talked about this, was it that 0 episode or episode 1 that we talked about Carrie King? It was our episode 0.
That was last one.
Might release for you if you...
Yeah.
Or was it
if you're looking at it was episode 1.
Oh, it was episode 1, so it was the last episode.
Last episode.
About, the pull. Like, he's another person. Like, it's the guitarist from Alice in Chains. Of course people are going to show up and want to jam with him and do music.
And that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's released a single. It's called Vilified. I haven't heard it yet, but
I haven't heard it either. Yeah.
It's going to be Alice in Chains with other genres involved.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully it's not just Poundland, Alice in Chains, because that's always a bit boring.
He doesn't tend to do that as his solo stuff.
But sometimes you do get that with solo acts that break out of like main bands, is they end up just sounding like a watered down version of.
I mean, Kerry King, as we're on that board, he basically just did another Slayer record.
As much as it's good, it is just Slayer.
I agree. Anyway,
interesting. I mean, what we should do? Remind me. We'll try and listen to the track, and maybe in the next cast, we'll have a little. We'll maybe have a little chat.
Yeah, I like the kind of throwback ones, like we did last time, where it was 2,000 stab wounds.
2 million billion stab wounds.
And go back to the old album,
gazillion stab wounds.
We can refer to our old stuff.
I still haven't listened to that first album.
I wouldn't bother. No, don't bother.
Okay, really.
Don't bother.
I still love you, 2,000 stab wounds, 200 stab. 200 stab wounds listeners.
So close.
I'm so sorry.
It'll be 20 stab wounds next episode.
So many stab wounds. Right, we did this review.
Quickly moving on. Again, on our local thing, so we're under the umbrella of Black... Oh, no, I was going to say Black City. That's where we are. It's no. Bristol Metal Quarter, edit that out. Bristol Metal Quarter is our umbrella, so the Gryphon's in it, Black City Records is in it. Dave in Black City is absolute amazing dude. If you've never met him, go talk to him. You're going to be enlightened.
I caught him outside the shop the other day. We had a bit of a nap. It was good.
He's just a metal guru. He knows everything. 100%. He set up his own little business of it's a metal store. It sells everything metal, from merch to vinyl, CDs,
vinyls,
and
t-shirts, the whole 9 yards.
And everything there. Highly recommend going in. But one of the things the podcast, he's involved with it, but he basically helps us. So he always gives us album reviews to go through, and it's fun because sometimes we know him, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
And this time we're reviewing a band.
This is the first one, so including episode 0. So obviously he's given us 2 so far. I would like to say this is the first band we actually know about.
Yes, that's a fair point, because it's a funny one for me, because I know the band, but I've never heard them.
Okay.
So I had no idea what I was expecting by getting it. Just for you listeners, it's Orange Goblin.
Goblin and their Science Not Fiction album,
which was released in July 2024 under Peaceful Records.
Yeah.
It's their 10th album, so they've been around a long time.
Oh, wow.
The funny thing about this, I was thinking about this. I was like, I want to tell our listeners what they sound like. They may not have heard them. They may not be like me and kind of go, you know what? I've heard the name, but I don't know the band. So how would I describe them? I was like, well, for me, it was kind of Black Sabbath, Kios, Clutch, kind of biker, stoner, prog, space, rock. That's kind of how I was going with it.
Interesting.
one of the points I was going to bring up before we kind of go into the main review is the kind of artwork.
Yeah.
I used to love as a kid, like buying physical copies of stuff, looking at the artwork for hours and just absorbing it.
Yeah.
I do it in a more digital version now, and this one, I looked at the artwork and I was like, I know exactly what I'm getting with this.
I mean, it's got some War of the Worlds shit going on, hasn't it? There's flying spaceships, there's aliens, there's a face staring into the
eye of the universe.
The eye of the universe, which is definitely kind of what this album's about.
And basically, the whole album, in essence, is about, we're mindless sheep, we're pawns to the system around us.
Interesting. I'll let you go ahead. Give me your thoughts, Tom. What do you think about this?
So, first thoughts, I said, album cover I think is very clever. Looking at it, you look at it and kind of go, this is going to be a proggy, stoner, kind of rocky. You're going to be deep in thought with it. Lyrically, you are, definitely. Musically, it was kind of sludge, Black Sabbath riffs kind of style, biker, stoner metal, I would say. It's a lot lighter than we've listened to for the last few episodes, which is good. Also, thank you, Dave, because I like variety, and I think that's a very good thing. When I listened to this, I could only describe the. Have you played guitar? You've played in bands, right?
No, I mean I'm a talentless lead singer, so I don't actually know how to play any instruments.
Have any of your guitar players ever used the orange distortion pedal?
Yeah.
That is this sound. that is
orange,
what this is.
Orange cab, orange head, orange distortion pedals.
All you guitarists out there know what the distortion one pedal is.
Yeah.
That's what this is. They got some nice meaty riffs, some good leads in there. The vocals are kind of Motorheady, I would say. You've got a kind of doomy Black Sabbath kind of riffs going on. Yeah. It was enjoyable for the first few songs, and then I got bored, and I struggled to listen to this album the whole way through.
Okay, interesting.
Halfway through, I got bored. I was like, it's very repetitive for me. Yeah. And that was my original thing. How about you? Let's start with that.
Okay.
Where to go with that?
You know what? This is an interesting one because I think for the first time we're going to differ a bit more heavily on this. So I am a fairly big stoner rock fan. I love my High on Fire, I love my Red Fang, and I like Orange Goblin. I've seen them a couple of times. First time I saw them was like years ago at Download Festival or something. They
were big in the 2012.
They've always been kind of there. They're one of these solid bands. Like, once again, a bit of a cult following. Like, I just mentioned the band High on Fire. Like, High on Fire are massive, but will never play like a big arena.
Yeah.
But they're huge, and their influence is like far spread within the scene, right? Red Fang obviously have made their own bones and that kind of. Orange Goblin are exactly the same.
They started in 95.
Exactly, been going for a long time. So straight away, you kind of go into this album. Like, I do agree with you. It's funny because I enjoyed. I'm going to kind of split this slightly into two. Of like, I first put the album on when I first listened to it, and it's been a while since I listened to any Orange Goblin. They're kind of one of those bands that's always been there, but I don't go out of my way to listen to
I assume their sound is similar.
It's always kind of been a bit similar. I've got to be honest, this album sounds clean. It's mixed really well, lovely crunchy riffs. We talked about groove earlier on when you guys were talking about the bands that you saw live. Agree with that 100%. Really nice groove in this. And once straight away, like, this album starts, and you feel like you should be on a Harley Davidson going down like a long
hanging out with your friends, having a beer in the summer.
A long American road with your hair flying in the breeze. That's always been kind of their thing. So I actually, weirdly, I enjoyed this album from start to finish in that sense of like, this is an album, a cruiser album.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm listening to every song more intensely, but if I put this on in the car, I don't drive by the way, but if it was on in a car, it's a lovely sunny day outside, windows are down, everyone's leaning out, or you're on a bike or whatever, you put this on, it's a great cruiser, like fucking metal, stoner rock kind of album to go down.
Absolutely agree.
Now, the reason I said kind of twofold is that I've obviously listened to it again a bit more in depth, and this album kind of very quickly tells you what it is. In the first song, The Fire at the Centre of the Earth Is Mine.
Great song.
Great song, really good intro song, love it, but very quickly tells you in the lyrics like what this kind of where
they're going with it
and where they're going with this idea of like maybe science has kind of taken over a bit too much and stuff like that.
And we're all just pawns and we just accept it.
We accept certain things, we just kind of accept things as they are. Now, there's two slight hiccups here for me. One is, once again, an American band seems to suffer from this the most. The thing you're trying to name is capitalism, but you don't want to name capitalism. Right, that's what you're trying to name as the force that's destroying the world and doing all this, and everyone's
brainwashing you to be.
But they never say capitalism in the album. It's capitalism.
Not once,
guys.
in fact.
I hate to break it to you. Like that's what's making us all fucking miserable and making us hate our lives, and our lives are shit.
Our lives are pretty good right now. I'm just saying.
I mean, they're good now because I'm I'm half cut and we're talking shit on a podcast, which I really enjoy.
Exactly.
The second bit, which was a little bit of a hiccup for me, was a song called where is it now? I've got it here. False Hope Diet. It's the 4th track.
That's an interesting song because
the first 3 tracks, right, are very like rocking, rolling, stoner riffs, the grooves there. You're just cruising.
100% agree.
Right, then we hit False Hope Diet. Now it slows down. And what happens is this is a song where it's obvious that you're supposed to be listening to the lyrics more. You're supposed to be listening to the message of the song more. Now, the issue with the narrative of this song is obviously there's a lot of talk about like, just accepting things and accepting the drugs, and obviously like America has a lot of issues with like,
pharmaceuticals
and all that kind of stuff. So basically what I'm trying to say is like the issue is if the narrative of this song is that the lead singer is singing from the point of view of like a preacher or a snake oil salesman.
He actually says he's not a preacher in one of them.
Exactly, this is what I'm worried about. Because I'm going to be honest, there's a fair bit of kind of like anti-vaxxy like stuff on that song.
And that song in particular is very anti.
And it's slowed down, and you can tell that this is the song that they kind of want you to listen to the message.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'm a little bit concerned about that, obviously. Like,
it's like you haven't read the small print that's on your TV screens and you're taking the vaccines.
Fake vaccines, everything's a man-made thing and that. I understand something.
It goes with the theme of the album.
It goes with the theme of the album, but if that's their personal beliefs, obviously, unfortunately for me, personal beliefs I don't fully agree with.
I'm with you.
Right? So, anyway, but if you take all that aside, and you just want to put on a cruiser, fucking great, like stoner rock metal album that's mixed really great, sounds really great, the vocals are there, guitar, bass, drums, the groove, and you just, put it on in the car because you've got to drive like,
for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how long it is.
But you know what I mean? It's a great cruiser album for me. Like,
it is.
I would personally give it a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10 on.
That's one of your higher ratings, yes.
It's one of my higher ratings. On grooves and fun, obviously, like I said, some potentially somewhat problematic ideas and lyrics in here kind of knocks it back down to maybe more like a 6. And would I go watch Orange Goblin live again? The answer is still yes. I like this kind of music.
You know they're playing Bristol?
When are they playing Bristol?
10th of October.
Okay, well, I'm probably going to go. Because I like Orange Goblin, like I said. I like a lot of my kind of stoner rock, kind of like metal bands. I do enjoy this sound. I think Orange Goblin they've still got it sound-wise. They've still got it. I just really hope that this isn't the beginning of like them turning into like an Alex Jones kind of esque like conspiracy theory band, I guess.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
I hope not. But that's my take on the album. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, just a couple of things on there. It's like, I don't agree with that. So
it's quite a modern album, but I think all their older stuff is quite similar. It's got
I love it. I know, but I enjoy that. I enjoy that sound, so I'll happily go back. And funny enough, what this has done, I'll say this. I actually then just started listening to Orange Goblin in general.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Which I like. Yeah. I like Orange Goblin.
You may have forgotten you liked them.
Yeah, so. Exactly. It kind of was that. I put on their mixed playlist, and I kind of just got on with it. So yeah, I like the sound. So I did enjoy it. Between a 6 to a 6.5 out of 10 for me.
I think for me, I'd be a little bit lower. I'd probably be on 4.5. I'm not a huge fan of that style in general, so I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah.
Opening, incredible. First 4 songs, incredible.
First 3 songs are just like proper ripping, like just stoner rock.
Good beefy riffs, lead guitars over it. The vocal timing works so well with the guitars. Drums, totally in time. Yeah. Perfect. Sounds excellent. Yeah. Then it slows down. You're absolutely right. You nailed it in the head. Yeah. They've got a very strong message in that one that you can hear vocally.
Once again, that's the bit that worries me.
And then after that, it tails off for me. It gets a bit boring.
I actually enjoyed it. They experimented. There's a very gothy song after that called
Cemetery Rats.
Cemetery Rats.
I like that song. It's probably the best in the album.
But that just sounds like a Rob Zombie song. Let's be fucking real.
Yeah.
That sounds like Rob Zombie's on that song. It sounds like that could be on a White Zombie or a Rob Zombie album. It's still a really good song, but that's what it sounds like.
It's a bit different from the rest of the vibe.
Yeah,
but
because it sounds like a Rob Zombie song. It's just like completely out there.
An intro is totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's like 20 seconds of a bass thing.
I enjoyed the whole thing, even when it slows down near the end. I still enjoyed the whole thing as a whole. It's maybe more just like I enjoyed the vibe of the whole album, but not the message of the album.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a very well done album. It's easy listening.
Yeah.
I agree with you totally. Yeah. I did struggle to listen to the whole way through,
and I totally respect that. Like, you know, like stoner rocky kind of metal stuff can be like. There's High on Fire albums that I know that I could play you that you'd love.
Yeah.
And then there's High on Fire albums I know that I could play you and you'd be like, fucking hell, what's like this is just going on and on and on.
Yeah.
Like, because stoner rock, metal, and prog do kind of have this weird.
Yeah, synergy together.
Like synergy, and like if you're not into that kind of stuff, then you kind of, you know what I mean. You just go, like, what the fuck's all this? Why are all the songs 9 minutes long?
To be fair, they only have one 7-minute song.
True. But you know,
I know what you mean.
They run into each other, don't they? A bit, and like if you're not kind of feeling the sound and feeling the groove, then you could just kind of get a bit bored. I understand where you're coming from with that, basically.
Yeah, and then to kind of summarise, we both liked it, but Dave recommended this to us.
Yeah.
He's got multiple copies in Black City. He's got all formats, vinyl, CD, whatever you want. Yeah. He also had a special edition pressing.
Oh, did he?
A signed one.
Really?
It was for a competition. It's obviously now gone, so, you know,
that's... all right.
And we might have some secret news on him in about a month's time.
Really? Secret news. Podcast news. Feel for my fire news. Here we
probably
go.
number 5 when we get the news on him.
All right,
maybe.
I love it. I love it. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you the same question I always ask you. Would you see him live again?
Yeah, I would, and I would definitely jump around to Orange Goblin. I like Orange Goblin. I like that kind of stuff. Obviously, like stoner rock isn't always the stuff to jump around to, but I definitely shove a few people and I'd go watch them live. And if they're playing in October, I'll go see them.
I don't know if they'll incite circle pits. That was going to be my second one. Would you throw shapes in there?
No. I'll throw a few shapes. I'll have a good headbang. I'll throw a few shapes. There might be a bit of shoving and pushing with some of those crunchier, groovier
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not always that vibe.
I think for me, I'd see him if they were playing a festival. I don't think I'd go out of my way as a headliner.
That's totally fair.
So we'll review this in, when did I say?
Good.
October?
It
was October, 10th of October.
Alright.
So yeah, I think that brings us nicely to the end. So yes, thank you, Theo, for your awesome contribution. It's been fun.
Still gay, still mentally ill, still covered in tattoos. What can I say?
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Danny, thank you so much for all the sound that we're going to do after this. John, thank you so much for letting us do this. Thank you for being part of it. Dave, thank you too. Wouldn't be here without you both. So thank you both.
Let's go.
Bristol Metal Quarter, Fuel for My Fire. We'll see you in the pits.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.